Hello everyone, and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. Social justice. It's a term that gets bandied about in Catholic circles continually, but what does it really mean? Well, here's what it does not mean. It does not mean focusing so narrowly on the material needs of society that the spiritual needs, which are the most important, are dismissed. See, the social justice crowd, which also goes under the name peace and justice, have had their run of things in the church for decades now, even so much as directing funds of $125,000 to a group like the Chinese Progressive Association out of San Francisco. That group openly and blatantly supports abortion and same-sex marriage. For 5 years, this group, which is just one of many to get Catholic money from the U.S. Bishops' Conference, received funds from loyal Democrats who work at the Bishops' Conference. It was only when reports of this came to light that the bishops defunded the group. But what if the information had never been made public? The previous 5-year history tells us that the CPA, Chinese Progressive Association, would still be getting Catholic dollars. But another more disturbing question, and one that strikes at the very heart of the matter, is this: why did they get the money in the first place? Because the social justice crowd that rules many quarters of the church today with a tyrannical zeal thinks anything they do in the name of justice or peace gives them carte blanche to do whatever they want. But they're blinded by their zeal, and they couldn't be more wrong about church teaching. The liberal tyranny we witness today in the church, foisted on us by aging hippies and those who pine after Woodstock, is a result of a very bad reading of church teaching. They have completely divorced themselves from the 2,000-year teaching of the church with regard to the poor and ushered in a whole new understanding, we'll make that a misunderstanding, of the term social justice. Pope Benedict is fond of talking about the necessary continuity in church teaching and reflection. And continuity is one concept he stresses frequently because he sees the moral insanity that has gripped many quarters of the church. That continuity has been severely ruptured by these older hippies who now wear suits but still rage against the establishment with all the fervor of their youth. The only difference is now they're on the inside, twisting and manipulating the church's teachings, opposed to standing on the outside waving banners. What they do in the name of justice is what Pope Paul VI warned against in his apostolic exhortation in 1975 entitled Evangelii Nuntiandi. Its focus was a proper understanding of evangelization. But in the middle of this exhortation, Pope Paul VI talks about how those within the church bent on bowing down before the altar of social justice can trade the spiritual for the earthly and thus abandon the church's true mission, despite their warm and fuzzy attentions. Allow me to quote from number 32 from Pope Paul. Her activity, forgetful of all spiritual and religious preoccupation, would become initiatives of the political or social order. But if this were so, the church would lose her fundamental meaning. Her message of liberation would no longer have any originality and would easily be open to monopolization and manipulation by ideological systems and political parties. How right he was. And now enter, stage left, the Democratic Party. The lay staffers at the U.S. Bishops' Conference have turned the conference into a tool for the Democratic Party's culture of death by using their malformed definition of social justice as a pretense to advance an entirely anti-church agenda. What justice is there for the child ripped to pieces in its mother's womb? All 50+ million of them. Where's their zeal from the peace-loving crowd in the face of the violence faced by 4,000 babies every day? Justice? Mercy? Peace? The liberal social justice crowd has abandoned these just as surely as they've abandoned their ties to the past teachings of the faith. Whatever the social justice crowd in the Catholic Church claims as a defense for their funding of these groups that support abortion, this much is certain. It isn't justice, and it most definitely is not Catholic. I'm Michael Voris.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.